Electric vehicles, wind wheels, fighter jets, smartphones, all these products use the critical resources called rare earth elements. Contrary to their name, they're not really rare, but 80% of the market at least is controlled by China. And the People's Republic is once again limiting or planning to limit its export quotas, driving prices up. One company that wants to help reduce Western dependency on China in this critical sector is Ucore Rare Metals, ticker symbol UCU. We are talking today to Interim CEO Pat Ryan to hear more about this exciting story. Pat, welcome, and thank you for taking the time.
Hey, pleasure to be here.
Before we start talking about Ucore and its exciting plans, please give us a short overview of the market for rare earth elements or rare metals. What is the situation? Where is the opportunity?
Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of information in the press these days about rare earths and how they're controlled by China. The actual statistics are something like 70% of rare earth production is in China. 85% of rare earth oxide production is in China, and 95% of permanent magnets that go into these wind turbines that you just mentioned, or the electric vehicles, they are manufactured in China. So China has pretty much set up a situation where if you want access to these rare earths, you have to pretty much set up in China. You've got to be there in order to make things happen. So they've done a very good job of cornering these critical rare earths, and they're irreplaceable. You know, there's no critical mineral that's been discovered, no other technology discovered to be able to do what needs to be done. And as you identified, you know, we have electric vehicles that are certainly a big surge forward. In the run of a year, about 90 million new vehicles are made globally, you know, post or pre-COVID, 90 million new vehicles. And by 2030, 32 million of those vehicles are to be electric. Then we have things like F-35 fighters, missile guiding systems for defense that they rely on rare earths. So that's certainly a key concern. Smartphones that you identified, wind turbines that you know, allow for some alternate energy, all controlled by China. And you know, if you look at the landscape right now, just on rare earth oxides, in 2020, the rare earth oxide global production was somewhere around 2.98 billion, according to Adamas Intelligence. But by the end of the decade, that's projected to be at $15.65 billion in rare earth oxides. That's a five-fold jump. So that's quite a move forward. And we're seeing it now with rare earth prices, these permanent magnets that we talked about that go into the electric vehicles, the electric motors. You know, just take those, for example. Your terbium is up over 100% year over year. Your neodymium, which is a light rare earth, that's up over 100% year over year. Your dysprosium, 40% year over year. Your praseodymium, 40% year over year. So it's trending to show the supply demand is getting out of balance, and this control resides with China. That is the situation. A very difficult situation for anyone that's not in China right now. The rest of the world needs to pay attention.
Certainly, most certainly, yes. Then please explain to our audience how Ucore wants to profit from the situation. I assume that's the initiative called Alaska 2023. What does that entail exactly?
Yeah, the Alaska 2023 plan that we've started to promote most recently, or let people know about, not promote, but let people know about most recently. It's based on three principles that you have to take into account if you want to get to market. The key here is not opening another rare earth mine. There's lots of rare earth concentrate around the world. What's missing is rare earth separation. Separation to oxides. The way this works, Björn, I know you're aware, is that you have a rare earth concentrate. It gets turned into a chemical concentrate. It gets turned into an oxide through proper separation techniques. And those oxides are then used to make rare earth metals and rare earth alloys that go into permanent magnets. So when you take a look at how to break the Chinese stranglehold, you've got to really look at the most crucial thing. And the most crucial thing is separation. It's separation to oxides. You've got to have that pivotal tool in your toolbox to get the job done. So that's where Ucore has been really focused on that separation side. So when you look at Alaska 2023, we're part of our planning was we need to have a very sound business plan. We need to have something that really, truly makes sense. Not a lot of this junior market hype that you hear that, oh, you know, by 2027, we'll be producing X revenue and here's what it looks like. We wanted a 2023, meaning within 3 years, being in the market with oxides. And in order to get there, you've got to have a very good capital plan. So the capital plan, again, back to separation. If you look at solvent extraction, the only process used to separate and make oxides in the world, it's used in China. And in fact, the only separation that happens on the globe to oxides is in China. The only operating mine in the United States is MP Materials. They take their concentrate and they send it back to China where it's separated, and they lose 50% of their basket value. Now, Linus in Australia, they do have a plant in Australia. In Malaysia, they've had a lot of problems environmentally with the thorium and whatnot and uranium that they're trying to remove. But that's a $750 million venture, and it's a very difficult path forward. So Alaska 2023 is based on sound business, quick to market, and based upon separation technology that gets the job done. So that's where we've been focused. And to look at our path forward with Alaska 2023, you need feedstock, you need allied feedstock, you need NATO, US allied feedstock, something that's non-Chinese. We've identified a heavy rare earth feedstock that we are going to use for an Alaska 2023 project. In May of 2020, we purchased Innovation Metals Corp. They have rapid solvent extraction as their main technology. It took a lot of vetting out on the global level to figure out where that would fit. And that too is an important part of our plan. And the third part is to have key relationships that make things work. And our key relationships to make things work are twofold. One is AIDA, which is the Alaska Industrial Development Export Authority. They've been very supportive of all of Ucore's efforts. They realize that the critical metals, rare earth in particular, are the new oil. They realize the 21st century is fueled by it, and they've been a supporter of energy for many, many years. So now they want to pivot or expand their portfolio to include critical metals, not the least of which is rare earth. That's one key relationship. The other is with a company called Materion. We're in a very early stage of negotiating with Materion. They are beryllium miners. They make beryllium metals, beryllium alloys, beryllium components for the US defense. And they are looking very seriously at entering the rare earth market in conjunction with Ucore. So all of that fits into an Alaska 2023, quick to market, the right price of entry, and a sound business plan.
Very interesting and very exciting. 2023 isn't that far off. So we hope you can fulfill your plans there. Well, let's talk about the separation technology a bit more. Then perhaps I can give us some details, not too much detail, so we'll be able to understand. But what is this rapid SX? What does it say? What are the main advantages over traditional solvent extraction?
Sure, I'll keep it in layman's term. Again, the only separation used on the globe today for producing rare earth oxides is solvent extraction. The good thing about rapid solvent extraction, it's the same chemistry, the same science, but it's so much quicker. So when you look at the advantages, you know, in a solvent extraction plant that you would see in China, they have these things known as mixer settlers. And mixer settlers are, you'd have hundreds of them that allow us a rare earth to be separated from a rare earth concentrate or rare earth chemical concentrate, that is. You'd have hundreds of mixer settlers. But when you look at rapid solvent extraction, it's a column, it's got a packed media. And with that, the kinetics are so much more robust. You can separate out with one column versus 10 mixer settlers. So what that means is that if you have a let's take a soccer field in Europe, and I guess you call it football in Europe, a solvent extraction plant might be the size of a football field. A rapid solvent extraction plant might be the size of 30 meters by 50 meters. So your footprint is that much less. Your footprint is essentially 30% smaller. Sorry, 70% smaller. Your footprint is 70% smaller than a solvent extraction. So there's a huge savings in CapEx. You're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars to produce solvent extraction. You're looking at tens of millions of dollars to produce a rapid solvent extraction. You've got OpEx. OpEx is important. OpEx is certainly on par with China. All of our pilot and early stage testing has shown that our OpEx is exactly where it needs to be. We're anticipating by the time we're done with our commercial demonstration plant, we'll be able to demonstrate 5 to 15% less OpEx. It's scalable and modular. So that's kind of important too. You don't want to build a huge facility, enter the market with a 20,000 ton rare earth manufacturing plant. The Chinese look at it and they go, wow, that's making a dent in the market. Let's try to toy with the prices and bring it down. Scalable and modular means you can start small. You can start with 2,000 tons, you can add 1,500 tons, you can add another 1,500 tons, and you can get to a very scalable modular approach to build the system that works for you. Building blocks, if you will, scalable and modular. So that's a heck of an advantage. So good CapEx entry, good OpEx to make it work. Scalable and modular. Rapid equilibrium means you can get your system up and working within hours as opposed to weeks in a solvent extraction. Solvent extraction plant goes down, it stops. It takes a week, more weeks to get it up and running. With rapid solvent extraction, it would take mere hours or perhaps a day or two.
Right. Well, very exciting stuff there. Certainly looking forward to see that in action. And I think that's another part or pathway for Ucore to get to generation of revenues, is that you use that rapid SX technology also on other critical materials, not exclusively rare earth. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there has been some work that was done a couple of years ago by the Innovation Metals team, and it was with the battery materials. For example, lithium from or cobalt from nickel. Lithium as well has been worked on extensively. So those other critical metals work into a solvent extraction opportunity also. And with it too, with the rapid solvent extraction, when we look at our revenue plans forward, Bjorn, you have a design it, build it, operate it, own it approach, which is what Alaska Strategic Metals Complex is. So you're actually using it for your own use. And the other critical thing is you can have a licensing model. And Innovation Metals, our wholly owned subsidiary of Ucore, their plan is to launch a licensing model once the commercial demonstration plant has been complete, which is in Q4 of this year, putting a lot of investment into finalizing a commercial demonstration plant, which will then launch a licensing model, which will be a very unique way to generate additional revenue. So essentially reaching out to global players and finding a way to make things work for them.
Okay. Well, certainly very interesting stuff. And at the moment, of course, the topic is also very much in the news, as you said. So we're looking forward to hearing more. Now, from an investor side, in your personal opinion, why is now exactly, or could be the right time for an investor to take a closer look at Ucore?
Yeah, good question. I'm a mechanical engineer, and actually I've spent a career being involved with the automotive industry. I founded a company 25 years ago that's a tier one, supplying currently people like Volkswagen and General Motors and Toyota Motor Sales. And at this point in the 21st century, the flight from fossil fuels, the decarbonization, is the biggest assignment that we've had in the 21st century. The move to electrification, the move to new energy technologies such as wind turbines, the need to look at critical defense outside of China, all of that is a very pivotal point in our time in the 21st century. Again, that flight from fossil fuels and into new technologies, it's here, it's right now. In that point, Ucore's been involved with rare earths for several years. And we've always known that the way to get to market had to be with separation. It had to be with producing the oxides, had to be with the downstream relationships with people like Materion. It was also identifying allied feedstocks to be able to feed the whole thing. So when we look at this point in time right now and the ability to move forward, it couldn't be more opportune, and we've got the technology now. We've got the separation technology. We've got the allied feedstock. We've got support coming from ADA. We've got everything that's needed for this 21st century opportunity. As far as Ucore goes, I look at where we are today. We're very strategically planning our path forward. I had one analyst suggest to me recently that you'll be a $500 million market cap company in no time, and I believe that he may be right, because we're in the right place at the right time. We've done all the right things. We've got all the right building blocks. And we're moving forward with revenue being the key. You've got to get off of this, just continuing with news flow. You've got to get to revenue. And that's been my background, is to get to revenue. And that's what we're focused on with Ucore. So I think the opportunity now is quite substantial for anyone looking at the company more closely.
Okay. Thank you very much. I certainly see there's a lot of potential there. For the terms of disclosure, we are shareholders too of the company. So we certainly hope all goes well, and that you use that opportunity thank you very much for taking the time again, and looking forward to perhaps talking again in a couple of months or so to see what happened. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Björn.